before we bring, I want to let you know that there is a rape in the United States every 6.2 minutes. It's reported that there is a rape in the United States every 6.2 minutes. The U.S. also reports about 85,000 rapes a year, an average of 27.3 rapes per 100,000 persons population. So it's very serious that this topic we are addressing tonight. Good evening, Miss Lois Brooks. So glad you could come with us on tonight. I want you to go ahead on and share this out. You know, the unfortunate thing is that in the United States, as with other countries, they do not collect the separate data on gang rapes. So unfortunately, many rapes go unsettled. But tonight, I want to bring with us on this evening a young woman who has a story, who has a testimony, who has, I believe, something that can help us as we are getting ready to go through this Life Chat series. I want to give you an opportunity to go ahead on and share this out. Good evening, Adele. Good evening, good evening, good evening, Darlene. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please go ahead on and share this out, share it out. And I want to introduce to some and present to others on tonight. We have with us a very beautiful young woman whom I have had the pleasure of meeting this past year. And so I'm so glad that the Lord has allowed our paths to cross. She has a testimony that not only is going to help heal others, but it's going to continue the healing process that the path that she's on. And we also have with us tonight our on staff clinical person, licensed person, and that is Lynette Thomas. All right, so we're going to go ahead on and, yeah, you all unmute yourselves and just say hi to our audience right quickly. Just say good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
Yeah,
evening, everyone.
yes. And along and Mrs. Davenport will tell who she has with her tonight. So, Mrs. Davenport, we're going to go ahead on and get started. I want to thank you so much for your genuineness, your willingness to come forward to talk to us about what happened in your life, the traumatic incident that happened that changed the course of your life, what the devil tried to set you up for. Yeah, God said, I got you. And so I want you to kind of just tell us who you are and what do you do now, right now, professionally, and introduce us to the handsome gentleman that's sitting next to you.
Okay, good evening again. I am Janicia Davenport. Um, I have three children. By marriage, I have six. Sitting next to me is my husband, Marquellis Davenport Sr. Um, Currently, I am an inclusion teacher at Robert L. Merritt Junior High School in Indianola, Mississippi. I have been doing inclusion for 3 years now. Um, I've been teaching for 5 years. Well, in the public school system for 5 years. I started out teaching with the program back in 2018, and I left there. And then I left the daycare a few, like maybe a year at the Head Start Center, and then after that, I started in the public school system. Other I love hair, so that's kind of like a second job for me. My handsome husband is a police officer here in the city of Greenwood, Mississippi. So he's more than our protector at home. He's our protector on the street.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And so we, Janicia, many of us go through things in our lives that that kind of set us on a path of things that we're not proud of. And when you start out, people, when we start out as children, we don't plan for people to do things uh, evil to harm us. We just don't plan for that. We sit down with some of our little friends. Girl, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. Well, when
Mhm.
I grow up, I want to be this. I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna have 3 kids, and we gonna live in the suburb with our white picket fence. But sometimes it just doesn't always work that way. So, Janicia, you have an amazing story, and I'll tell you this, you all. As I was reading the story, I was sitting there in the airport in Atlanta, and I was trying to fight back the tears because all these people were around. And so I know that if it was touching me, and I'm just learning about the story, I'm sure it's going to touch somebody else. So as we delve into the reason why we're here tonight, can you tell us, Janicia, why now? Why are you wanting to tell your story? What makes you okay? To say, okay, I don't mind letting everybody know what happened to me.
Honestly, um, I don't know reason why, but as I've been praying about it all week. Oh, okay. It had blacked out on my end. Can y'all hear me? Okay. All right. So all week because of course I've wanted the strength to be able to do it. It's really a touchy subject, so most times I can't really talk about it without crying. I haven't told this to people because of embarrassment, because I know people are very judgmental, but I also tapped into the spiritual side of it. I've always dreamed of being motivational, encouraging. I do have people me for advice. They come to me for encouragement. Many things that I've been through in my 28 years of living to people, and it helps them become better or get out of situations that they are currently in. So when I saw Dr. C. Rochelle advertising that she series and the different aspects of life, knew that my story would help someone else. How it would help them, I don't know. But I'm praying and praying and praying that someone will be able to say, okay, hey, she told her story. Wow, it's helpful to me. I'm gonna do this and that. I'm gonna speak up. I'm gonna do what I need to do to help myself, to help my children. Whatever it can do to help you, whether spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, helps. I just want to be able to help at least.
Amen. Listen, I'm just gonna just kind of prepare. Did you
With my,
tell us how old you were?
I said in my 28 years of living.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard you say. Yeah, I think I may need to turn my fan down. I can't hardly hear. But 28 years old. I I just when I think back to age 28, you know, a lot of things happened even in my own life. But I want you to talk about it because you told me that you were traumatized by somebody who you thought loved you or was your boyfriend or what have you. Tell us about this incident. Uh, uh, yeah. Talk to us. Tell us what happened.
Okay, so around the young age of 14, going into 15, um, I was a little girl walking around the school. I was very quiet. at school, loved on everybody around me. The only thing I cared about was academics, and I had friends, well, people that I thought were my friends, and it was these triplets that were going to our school at the time. Two of my friend girls were going with two other triplets. So the third triplet felt like, okay, she's the only friend left out of the group. Why doesn't she have a boyfriend? So I kept expressing to them that her to have a boyfriend. I didn't know what having a boyfriend was. So after many days and weeks of them trying to convince me, I said, okay, hey, I'll give it a try. So, of course, being in the band, you have to travel, you have to play at the football games, you have to do the parades and all this stuff. So we was coming home from a parade one evening, and he asked me about sex. And I told him, I'm not sexually active. I don't care to be. I felt like I was too young for it and I was scared. So, after months of asking me for sex, I guess he wasn't satisfied. So, um, okay. Um, okay.
It's okay.
So, him and his older brothers plotted to rape me. Um, I really trusted this guy. I really thought that he loved me, but he allowed his one of his older brothers to do something to me that I never would have imagined happening. Um, I was walking home one evening from band practice, and as I was leaving off of the campus, I was grabbed by one of the older brothers. And as I started to scream, my brother tried to help me, but the triplets and one of the other brothers took some chains and chained my brother to a pole to keep him from helping me. And the brother that had me took me inside of the high school building into an empty janitor's closet and he threw me up himself. And as I continued to scream, I felt my body getting weak. And I know a lot of people ask me why you didn't fight back. I was too weak to fight. I couldn't do anything. I was stuck. I didn't know what to do, what not to do. All I could think about was I don't want him to hurt me any worse than how he was already gonna hurt me. So as I continued to scream, he kept asking me to stop screaming. And I told him I was scared to just please let me go. And all I remember after that was him telling me that he wasn't gonna let me go until he got what he wanted. And he punched me in my face. I don't know what happened in between time. When I woke up, I was in the arms of the band director, wrapped in one of the little cape things that the majorettes wear. I don't know what happened to my clothes. Know what was going on. And as I looked in Mr. Crawford's face, I kept asking, "What happened to me? What happened to me?" And he would just shake his head. He carried me from the high school building all the way back across campus to the band hall. And when I got there, I saw my mom standing. I saw my aunt Londa Mae standing. And I just kept asking, what happened? What happened? And my mom looked at me and she said, "Baby, a man did something very badly to you. So you're gonna have to go talk to the police about it." So at that point, I started asking, "Where is my daddy? Where is my daddy?" And it was hurtful because my daddy wasn't there during the time. My dad wasn't active, so I still wanted him around, although he had never been there when I felt like he should have. I always asked for him whenever something happened to me. This time I really needed him, but during that time my dad was a big time business owner. Um and the guys that did this to me were some of his customers. So it's almost as if business mattered more than I did.
Wow.
Um so as I was sitting in the police station, of course they were questioning me. Um, and he asked me a series of questions, but when he asked me what did I remember, I told him that I remembered the guy telling me that he wasn't gonna let me go until he got what he wanted. So he was like, "Okay, enough heard. Now you have to go to the hospital." So as I got to the hospital, um, they did the rape kit. Of course, I had never experienced anything going up in me, them checking me, none of this stuff. So it hurted so badly. Um, but after everything was confirmed, they did take the guy to jail. Of course, I had to get medicine because some type of infection. But they said it wasn't a disease, it was a sexually transmitted infection. So once it cleared up, for a long time, I didn't want to be seen in public. I didn't want to go to school. But asked my mom, could you please just have my teachers to send my work home? I'll do my work from home and send it back to school. Um, but then I had this one friend girl that encouraged me. And she said, "Just come on back to school. Everything's gonna be okay." But my first day back at school, I had this teacher to come up to me and ask, "Did that really happen to you, or were you lying?" And so that made all the feelings come rushing back. And I ran to the bathroom and I cried and cried and cried. My friend came in and she said, "Nene, sometimes people say things to hurt you, but you have to shake it off and keep going." So eventually we came out of the bathroom with the class. So it was at that point where I had it programmed in my mind that if a man asks you for sex, give it to him. Because if you don't, he's gonna take it. That was my way of thinking because of what happened to me. I told him no, he took it. It wasn't directly, but he indirectly took what he was asking me for, and I told him no. So as a result of me thinking that way, I eventually did become sexually active. Um, and that was the phase that I went through of not loving me because I felt like if I didn't do it, it was gonna be taken. So I did it. No matter how many times the guy asked for it, I did it. That soon led to me being pregnant in my teenage years. I had my first child at the age of 17. And it was at that point where I realized that I really was messed up. Um I went through the phase of, okay, wow, I'm pregnant. Don't know who I'm pregnant by. Um, of course, it was shameful because you have people that talking, and all you heard was, well, she had different sex partners every other day. No, that wasn't the case. Now, it may have been, I may have had a different sex partner maybe every so many weeks or every so many months because hey, I just felt like I got to give it up because I don't want to be taken advantage of again. I never forget, in the midst of this, my dad come running to the house and he says, word on the streets is you are, I can't say the word, but he was just like, I don't understand why folks running around in the streets talking about my daughter. So I said to him, if you were around to show me what manly love was, then maybe you wouldn't have to hear these things in the street. And that was my first time ever spoken by my dad, because I hurt his feelings when I said what I said. But I also had this grudge against him for a long time. I Before finding out that I was actually pregnant, I had help from a lot of people. People in the church, people outside of the church, like everybody helped me. But then when they found out that I was pregnant, nobody wanted to deal with a pregnant teenager. Nobody wanted to help me. Everybody walked away, but my mama stayed. Um, all I had was my mama and my brother. Uh, Before finding out I was pregnant, I met this guy, and he showed strong interest in me. So I decided to give relationships another try. But after I it was confirmed that I was pregnant, I told him, hey, I'm pregnant. I know, that this is not your baby. What do you want to do? He said, I'm going to stay with you. So we stayed together about 5 years, and then boom, he leaves. So at this point, um, you have watched my child grow up to 5 years of age, and now you go away. So at that point I started feeling like I was worthless. um I took a few months in between, and about a year and a half after the breakup, I met my second son's dad, and we talked or whatever, but he treated me so badly. I went through a lot with feeling like I was worthless, because he talked initially he came to me as if he really meant me some good, but then he started showing me the real him. So he lied and used and abused me to his advantage to make himself look good to other women. He constantly told lies saying she don't take care of her kids. I need money from you to help her do this and this. So it was just a whole big cycle of what did I do to deserve this? So after breaking up with him, I I guess I just didn't love myself again. So I had a lot of married men, preachers, everything just coming at me, coming at me, coming at me. So I talked to them, and I actually felt good during the time, because I felt like they loved me. They took care of me. Um they took me to church with them. They gave me money whenever I needed it. Like, these men were actually doing what I thought my daddy should have been doing, um, loving on me, providing for me, doing things for my family, making sure my children were taken care of. Um, I even had one of the married men to help me get over my second child's father, because he coached me and talked to me and said, hey, this is what you got to do. This is what you don't do. Cut off the benefits. Do this. I was like, okay, wow. You know, Eventually, after years of doing that, I stepped back and I thought about it. I said, Nene, you always say that you want a husband. How will you be blessed with your own husband if you're sleeping with someone else's husband? So it was at that point where I started changing the way I prayed. I started asking God to help me get over wanting married men and help fix myself so that I could be worthy enough to deserve my own husband. Um,
Before you get to your husband, I want to ask you a question. I
okay.
want to ask you a question about your brother. Your brother. Your brother who
Mhm.
was there with you at the incident. Did your brother, let me ask, did your brother feel guilty in any way that he wasn't able to help you, uh, in that moment to keep you from having experienced all the stuff that you've experienced, going through different guys and doing just a whole lot of other negativity that the enemy had heaped up on you? Did your brother at any time feel guilty? Did he say, I'm sorry, sis, I wasn't able to help you, whatever, whatever? How did your brother feel? I really want to know. How did he feel?
He really felt bad about it. For a long time after the incident, he just every day it was I gotta protect my sister. I gotta come up with something different that I could do to make sure my sister was okay. From that day forward, I couldn't out of his eyesight. Um, back then we didn't know what guns and stuff was, so he would keep socks filled with rocks and anything that he could use to help him get someone off of him so that he could do what he had to do to protect me. Of course, he felt really, really, really bad. He constantly apologized. He also used to apologize for my dad a lot. Why he felt the need to do so, I don't know, but when it came down to me and my dad's relationship, it was kind of well, not kind of, it was broken. But eventually, I mustered up to sit down and talk with my dad, and I let him know that hey, I forgive you. Could we please just grow closer and fix whatever is broken? And before doing that, I did talk to a counselor, and she told me that it wasn't my job to fix it because I didn't break it, but for some reason I felt like I was gonna have to be the one to fix me and my dad's relationship because I knew he never would. And I loved him. It's just that I needed him there. So now he don't miss a beat. Uh, Everybody knows Nene crazy about her daddy. So when it comes down to my brother, when it comes to me, these kids, whatever, like from that point back then all the way up until now, my brother has been there. Like he's been really present in my children lives. Like whatever, he has been there.
Listen, you all, I want you all, this is a very powerful story. You all take the opportunity to share this out, tag somebody, take the time to tag somebody, because I am hearing such an inspirational message for other young girls, young ladies that may be coming along the way. Let me give you a note here that uh, in 2017, a 15-year-old girl right here in the city of Chicago was gang raped by over 40 men. By and I'm sorry, that she was gang raped, and over 40 people stood and watched while these guys gang raped this young girl, 15 years old. And I read somewhere else where it said here in Chicago, that a 15-year-old girl and a 16-year-old girl were raped by over 11 men. Gang rape is a serious issue in this country, in our society. A lot of us, it don't get reported because we're afraid. Janisa, I'm so glad that of all of this, I'm glad they left you in a place where somebody could find you. I thank God that you're not dead. I thank God they didn't kill you. But I got a question. the young man that you were supposed to be in the relationship with. What happened to him?
Honestly, I don't know. When the truth came out about the whole situation, they were no longer allowed to attend our school. So the family moved out of town, actually moved to whatever city it was that the brother was locked up in so that they could be closer to him, I guess, for visitation purposes or whatever. Of course they have tried and tried and tried to apologize to me. Like the guy that actually did it to me, he reached out to me on Facebook, and he was asking me to be in a relationship with him, and I was like, "You don't remember what you did to me?" And he said to me, "At some point you have to let things go." And I said, "Well, no, I'm not going to let it go." So, and I know that that's on me. I I need to forgive them. Um, but say that I have forgiven them, but every time I think about it, I don't feel like I really have forgiven them, because I feel like they took my childhood away from me. They took something from me that people who would dream of losing their virginity to rape pieces of my heart. It was really important to me. So they really scarred me. Even, even with other relationships that I've been in, I have been able to forgive many people, but this little rape crew and the guy that I was in a relationship with that beat on me, I just can't seem to forgive them. But I'm constantly praying about it, because I know for my sake, I have to forgive them.
Wow. Janice says it sounds like the young man didn't have any remorse to have the audacity to come back to you and say, at some point, you just got to forgive. I mean, that sounds like a person without a heart, number one. And Janice, I see you as my younger sister, that somebody has violated. You violated my little sister. And so you made a statement in your thesis you sent me, and you said all I wanted was my daddy. Oftentimes we hear people talk about boys need their fathers, boys need their daddies, boys need the men in their lives. But you and I, because I have my own separate story to tell, you have shared with us that I needed my daddy. Why do you think it's so important for us to have our daddies? I know you expounded a little bit, but why do we need our daddies? And your mama was there, but why you needed your daddy?
I needed my daddy because I needed that sense of protection. Needed that sense of believing that my daddy loved me. I knew my mama loved me because mama was always there. Mama didn't miss anything. But where was daddy? Why wasn't daddy there? Did I really matter to daddy? Could daddy have shown me what love is? I mean, I heard my mama, I used to always hear my mama say stuff like, be careful around certain men. Don't let men touch you a certain type of way. Don't accept man because he's gonna want something in return. But I feel like if my dad was there to show me how a man is supposed to truly love me, then I would have felt that sense of security. I would have known what true love in a man was, because um like I said, the married men treated me in a way that I wanted my daddy to treat me. Why couldn't my daddy do those things? Now, when it came down to these married men, it wasn't sex and all that stuff involved. It was just them actually caring for me because these guys were much older than me, like my daddy age. So at that point, I started to think like, okay, where is my daddy? Why I couldn't get this from my daddy? So not only is men an important part of all lives, girls really need daddy too. I mean, it's just like they say, it's certain stuff that mamas can't teach boys. It's a lot that mama can teach us when it comes down to fatherly love. We need our fathers for that.
Hmm.
Who's gonna protect us when mama gone? What if I didn't have a brother at home with me?
Yeah, that is true. I just, as I'm thinking, you know, you fell into a life of having a lot of different partners and all of that, not knowing how to love yourself. Now, I heard you say that there was a girl, a friend of yours, who encouraged you to come back to school. Is that
Yeah.
girl still in your life today?
No.
No. Okay. And so again, people come into our lives for reasons and in seasons. But I, I have a hard time, um, and it took me a while too because I'm a victim of attempted rape. It took me a while to forgive my folks too, but God did it. He really did. He really changed my heart, and allowed me to see that it wasn't them, but it was the enemy within them. That it was they were being used by the enemy. What was your turning point? You went through having a baby at 17, and then you thought you found love in somebody else, and he was with you for 5 years. What was the turning point to say, Janicia, it's time to wake up. You've been here long enough. And mind you guys, she's only 28 years old. So it sounds like we're talking to somebody that's had 40 years worth of life experience, but she's only 28 years old. My youngest daughter, it just turned 31. So this is a young woman who is sharing an experience that changed her life forever. A young man who didn't care anything about her. Um, one study showed us that 16% of all male rapists participated in a gang rape. 16% of all male rapists. This is big stuff, y'all. Participated in the gang rape. And so, Tanisha, when did you, like the prodigal son in Luke 11, when did you come to yourself? Luke 15, I'm sorry. When did you come to yourself? What happened? Tell us what happened.
Um, I I began to realize that every guy that I was allowing on me were taking pieces of my heart. And
Mm,
so I started to look at it as of okay, if you chipping off this piece, you chipping off that piece, what's gonna be left? So I started to think, okay, I got two little boys at home that has to grow up with a mother. They don't deserve um non-father figure people in their lives. So I began to say, okay, Nene, work on you. You have to be whole for yourself and for your children. In order for you to give your best self to them, you have to give your best self to you. So I began to pray and ask God to strengthen me. so that I can be able to release whatever it is that was keeping me from. So I turned away from the can I come overs and can I do this and can we do this? And I started to think, okay, whoever comes into my life needs to be able to love me. They need to be able to love my kids, set good examples for them, and so forth. So of course I did go through a couple of bad relationships. The guys will come in, they'll stay the course. You do this, that. I messed up a lot in those few relationships before my husband because I had the wife mindset. As a
Mm.
girlfriend, I had a wife mindset. So my mindset was, okay, I'm allowing you in my life. I'm allowing you in my children's life. So my children's lives. So no matter what, I'm gonna show you that I'm here. Okay, you come in. It was like they were coming in as if I had a third child. You gotta help them get up on their feet. Then when they get up on their feet, they're ready to go. Because hey, now it's almost as if I gotta be your mama because teach you how to treat me. I gotta teach you how to treat my children. And then when you just up and walk away, my oldest son now is noticing. So he's like, Mama, why every time we get used to somebody, they leave? So I knew I didn't want to keep going through the questioning. Um, the last relationship right before my husband was a very bad relationship. I found out some things about this guy that nobody ever wants to find out about their significant other. So, me and my now husband, we had been friends for a long time since high school because we were in the band together. Although he is, slightly much older than me, we had
All right, officer.
we were in the band together. Um Band days when we used to have to go to a band practice during school hours. He would get on his knees and sing to me and blase blase. But of course I didn't want him back then because I knew what type of guy he was. Um
Oh, watch out, Officer Davenport.
After my last relationship right before him, I talked to him and he was always there to encourage me. Hey, look, you gotta let it go. Pick your head up. So he was like, I'm just waiting on my chance. I'm just waiting on my chance. I'm just waiting on my chance. So eventually we went through the dating stage. We started dating. Before we started dating, of course, he was always there for us. He made sure bills got paid. He made sure the children were straight. We kept grocery in the refrigerator. He was the ideal guy. So I was like, okay, why not date him? So at first I thought it was
So, officer was working on you, Janicia. Was he working on you? Yeah, he was trying to make a home run.
because we had been friends so long. Ma'am.
I said, I said,
Oh, okay.
I said, officer was working on that heart of yours. You,
Uh-huh.
he was working. He was working. Look at him. Look at look at listen. Look at officer. He said, yes. He was beginning to show you what a real man really is all about. Listen. I don't know how many of you are really enjoying this end of the story because that first part made me feel like fighting and trying to find the person who did it. That's what it made me feel like. But as we bring this in, and I know Lynette you have to go, but I want to give you all opportunity. Those of you who are online, there are many of you online. I want to give you opportunity to ask your question. If you want to ask, she's wide open. Linda and Enid and Cynthia, uh, Janice and Sharon Butler and a lot of others on the other side over there. Enid, Easterma, Darlene. Your mama on here, Miss Elois is on here. She's
Hey,
been on here since
mom.
the beginning. Uh, Pam, if you have a question, please put the question out there in the chat. I will put it up there so that she'll be able to see it and hopefully respond to your question. But I wanted to ask you, Janicia, what one thing you told me that even now sometimes your son, your first son, asks about his dad, asks about his father. Um, what role is Officer playing in making your son feel loved and not left out, and making sure that he can grow up to be that whole young man that you desire for him to be?
Um, it started out a little slow. I guess he had got to the point where he was scared to get used to someone else. But as my husband came in and started to love on him and started to talk to him, he actually asked my husband the same question. So to keep him from feeling a certain type of way, came up with this. Okay, hey, your mama got pregnant with you. I was overseas, and of course, I missed you growing up. So I'm here now. I'm your daddy. So that made him feel a whole lot better. I can remember him running into my arms saying, "Hey, mom, thank you for finally bringing my daddy home." And
Oh,
I just, it flooded my heart because he always used to ask me why Jamar gets to go with his daddy and I can never go with mine. So now he don't have to ask those questions because although he don't get to go as many places as Jamar go, whenever Jamar is away with his dad, my husband will get the coin and say, "Hey, let's go here, let's go there." When he would take the corn on the road with him to let him get out the house. Him and the corn would do it together. They mow the grass together. They do whatever it is that the corn take interest in. So he has come a long way with really just setting an example and filling that void for him.
that's good. That's good. We need a few more good soldiers like our good officer there. Officer Davenport, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that your wife, or learning that your wife had gone through this trauma, what yet attracted you to her? What, she been gang raped, left bloody, left this, done all of that, whatever they did to her, knocked out, come through all of the other stuff, the whatevers. What attracted you to say, okay, I'm going after her? What
Uh,
made you do that?
her spirit. It wasn't anything physical. It was her spirit. She had a very good spirit. I think I fell in love with the most perfect side of her. I fell in love with the God in her. So
Amen.
that what made me want to just pursue her even more.
Wow. That's important. That is amazing. And there's a question here, Janice, and it asks, did you ever feel God holding on? And if so, how did it make you feel? And Lynette, if you got any question or you want to say something, just jump in. I know you got to leave in just a few minutes. Janice, this is from Enid Riley. Did you ever feel God holding on, I guess, to you? And how did that make you feel?
I did. I knew that God was holding on to me simply because He allowed me to one still live. after what happened to me. And even with me being messed up, I feel like he was there with me because, of course, with having multiple sex partners, you deal with diseases and infections and all this stuff. But in the midst of that, he allowed me to not get anything that I couldn't get rid of. He still allowed me the opportunity to come to him and talk to him and ask him for help, and he delivered me from my messed up side
Come
because
on.
deep down inside I have always been a very spiritual person. Even though I was messed up and didn't love myself, I always have loved God. I always have went to church. Like, you couldn't keep me no matter what I did in life. I feel like God gave me enough sense to know, hey, you messed up, but you got to go through this phase to get to where I need you to be. So you go on, have your fun. And when you're really ready for me to fix you, I'm going to do it.
Hmm. That's called what they call in our spiritual world. They said that you run from him as long as you can, and then
Mhm.
he finally catches up with you. He fixes you up so somebody like Marquella's Officer Davenport can do what Joanne said right here. Repeat what you said. I fell in love with the most perfect side of her, and that was the God in her. And that's absolutely correct. What a powerful testimony. I hope and I pray that you all are married for ages to come, that God will show you continuously, Officer Davenport, how to love on your wife, how she should love on you, how you all would just continue to make your union stronger. What the devil meant for evil, God turned it around for your good to save much people alive. He has your testimony here to make sure that it's okay to go through your stuff and that God can do anything but fail. So, Tanisha, what would you say? What would you, this is a question. I heard you said it. You said it a few minutes ago. You say, I don't know. Sometimes when I relive the experience, I don't know if I have quite forgiven or let it go or whatever it is. As a work in progress, what is your true and honest prayer to God? What are you saying to God about your future, about moving you from here to there, even reliving, you know, what you've gone through here tonight in front of all these hundreds of people that are going to come back and watch this video tonight. What what do you want God to do for you? I think you may be frozen. Anyway, if you all have any more questions, put those questions out here in the chat. Sharon Butler, so glad you're here with us in it. Put those questions in the chat so I can share them with her as we get ready to close this segment of um, our live chat series. And Joanne, Dr. Salisbury, I would love to have you as a guest. Yes, I would love you. Look like they froze. Hopefully she comes back in. I would love to have you as a guest, Dr. Salisbury. If you are here, I would love, love, love to have you come and share with us your journey, your story. This is just a life chat series. We are looking forward. Yes, we're looking forward to God bringing so many others through. Remember, it is up to God how we turn out. It doesn't matter the trail, the pathway we took. Remember that God loves us no matter what. There is no trash that God can't turn into a treasure. Let me tell you that. There is no trash that God can't turn into a treasure. God can do anything. Okay.
Okay, I apologize. My internet went out
Janice
on
said
my
she didn't have
computer.
a question. She said, but she just wants to encourage you to keep holding on to God and wishing you all continued blessings in your marriage and in your family. And my question was to you before you all got pushed out was, what are you hoping for? It as a child of God, what are you hoping that God will do for you moving forward?
I'm hoping that God grant me the peace that I need to be able to move past this, at least talk about it without crying. I want my story to be my testimony. I want my story to be encouragement to others. I want my story to be an eye opener for others, because many times I see young girls being in situations to where things like this happen to them, and they're told to be quiet, don't talk, don't do this, don't do that, but you have to speak up. Um, I'm also praying to grow stronger in the Lord. Um, I've been changing my prayer life. I've been changing the things that I say in my prayers. I'm actually also praying that I'm continuously praying that I become stronger as a wife and as a mother, because my past hurt has caused me to have a low tolerance for men. So it's almost as if um, whenever something happens within my marriage, I'm instantly upset, and I instantly start to think like, okay, wow, what's really going on? You know, this is my first time being married, and if initially I thought, well, okay, you know, my husband has been married before, so he knows how to be a husband. Maybe he can help me be a wife, but I had to step back and realize like, hey, okay, he's still learning just as I am. So a lot of things we have to just, talk through or whatever. So now my prayer for my marriage is that God continue to work on me and then also work through me to help my husband.
Amen. Well, you all heard it right from Mrs. Davenport. Thank you so much, Janicia, for your vulnerability and allowing yourself to just pour out and share with us. I got choked up a few times while you were talking. And just know that greater is in store for you. Uh, Dr. Holiday Phillips said it's important to be patient with one another within your marriage. And so I know she just came on a little later, a few minutes ago, but you know, I commend your husband for taking on your entire package. And how long you guys been married?
It'll be 2 years on Monday.
Oh wow, get ready to celebrate another year, and
Hmm.
so he hasn't thrown you away. You've taken him with his faults and his issues, and he's taken you with yours. And so together we're gonna just pray that God continue to bless your union, that He would strengthen you, as you said, that He would strengthen him, that He would, when troubles rise, you won't just walk away from each other, but you'll walk toward each other, and that you will pray one for another and be that husband and wife that the Lord has called for both of you to be. Dr. Phillips say happy anniversary. We said so on Monday. I'll make sure I tell y'all happy anniversary. Now don't let me forget. You gotta send me a text
Okay.
message. Don't forget, Doc. It's our anniversary. All right. Thank all of you for listening. We've had so many different ones that have come through tonight. Sharon say happy
Thank
anniversary and may God
y'all.
continue
Thank
to bless you
y'all.
with it. Uh, uh, hold on a minute. Dr. Salisbury, uh, let's see if I can get her in here. Uh, if I could get her on here right quick on this Salisbury. Uh, what is it? Joanne Salisbury. Dr. Salisbury, just come over to Dr. C. Rochelle Ministries Facebook page. I lost connection with the other one. It says happy anniversary. Everybody saying happy anniversary. I hope I can get Dr. Salisbury to come on here next week so she can share her testimony and her story, how God brought her through. And so, Janisa, thank you so much. Thank your husband for me. You know, I thank God for the both of you. Whatever I call or ask or whatever, both of you try your best to answer my call to whatever. And y'all are in Mississippi and I'm in Illinois. And so just know I love you, girl. I love you. I love your children. I was so glad to get a chance to hug and kiss and love on them while I was home in June. Those are my nephews and my niece. Yes, I have claimed them. Uh, and so I don't know how my children would feel if I called them my grandkids. So I'm gonna say they
No.
my niece and my nephews. All right. Thank
Yes,
all of you
ma'am.
for joining us tonight. Please have a wonderful weekend. We're going to be in prayer tonight at 9:30 tonight. I will be on praying tonight with a group out of Washington, D.C. They've asked me to be a part of that. So if you have a little time tonight, you can join me by dialing this number that you see on the screen, 669-275-0741. We will be in prayer. They often have every second Friday night in the month, they have an all-night prayer revival. And so if you can join us, I will be a part of that prayer team tonight. Um, Thank you all so much again. Tomorrow we're going to be on the streets here in Harvey, Illinois at 147th and 147th and Halstead. And we're going to be out in the streets tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon. Yes. Is that Mr. Davenport? Come on over here, officer. Oh,
He said, "Come here."
you want to have some closing remarks? I didn't want to leave without you saying something. Let me repeat this number again: 669-275-0741. That's the number for the prayer line tonight. Officer,
Oh, I don't have anything to say. I'm shy.
Really?
listen. I want y'all to know Officer can sing us a song and send us out of here. He don't look like that. You know you can say, look, you use your gifts, son. Use your gifts. Yes. So sing a song to Janisa. Act like you singing to her. Yeah, sing a song.
Just a little bit? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you. Oh, my soul, rejoice. Take joy, my King, in what you hear. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear.
Yes. Oh, that was great. Yes. I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice. One of my favorites. All right, you all, we're going to get ready to let you go. Denise, don't you log off yet. Um,
Okay.
as we always say, you know, may you have Dr. Phillips said that was beautiful.
Thank
Yes, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. All right, thank you all again for joining us. I have truly enjoyed this life chat series, and I'm hoping I can get Dr. Salisbury for next week to be able to share her testimony. Another powerful woman who God brought through trauma, from trauma to triumph. That's it. All right, Janice, you got to hold up your banner, and you gotta, you gotta declare that I'm healed and I'm free, and the Lord will. Hallelujah. He's going to be able to help you to look your enemy in the eye. Hallelujah. And you're not going to even have to flinch. I'm telling you what I know. It happened for me. Amen. It happened for me. And now the person who tried to do it, he's on my prayer list. How about that? He's on my prayer list. It floats every day. His name is on the prayer list. And so God knows. Hallelujah. He knows. He knows what we need when we need it. Yes. Hey, Patricia Dukes. Yes. That's it. That's it, Dr. Phillips. You can have what you say. So speak it, Janicia, speak it and live it. And so and even if you still cry when you tell your story, it doesn't mean that you're not over it. It just means you relive that moment in your life, one of the low points in your life. Amen. Don't let the enemy steal your testimony. All right, you all, I got to let y'all go. Have a great weekend, everybody. We love you, and God bless you all. Hold on just a minute, Janicia.